that was a good one. Hey, my name is Nicole Fiore, and I roller skate. You know the old school roller skates, 2 in front, 2 in back? Yeah, those ones. I'm gonna be teaching you how to roll and entertaining you along the way. Come roll with me. Hello, today we are going to work on our toe spins. I wear toe stops most of the time. I do skate without toe stops. If I can find it, here's a video of me at like 11 years old without toe stops. We used to not be able to wear toe stops when we were doing creative solo, which is one of the things that I used to compete in when I was younger, before I did world class stuff, and we weren't allowed to wear our toe stops. So this is me doing a bunch of turns and kicks and things without toe stops in. So I do skate without toe stops, not often, but I do it. I love wearing my toe stops because I can do a lot of cool choreography with my toe stops. It helps to make dancing more, it just feels like you're wearing heels when you're dancing instead of roller skates, sometimes. Anyway, I do spin with my toe stops in. I will preface this by saying I used to be an artistic skater. I am not a jam skater. I'm not a rhythm skater. I was an artistic dance skater. I teach that currently. Yes, I do love learning all of these tricks and moves, and I like putting an artistic skating spin on it. So a lot of my posture is not as cool as most people, and it's a little more dancey than normal, but I like doing my toe spins with toe stops in. Skating without toe stops can be scarier, but it doesn't have to be. It's all the same. You just have to know whether you have toe stops in or you don't. So that is one thing I will teach you that I hope you can learn from me telling you instead of by experience. When you take your toe stops out, if you put your skates back on and you think you have toe stops still in, always check that. If you're switching your toe stops in and out, always look down before you start skating to see if you have toe stops in or not. Because trust me, if you think that they're in and you go to push off and you have no toe stop there, it's game over real quick. On the flip side, if you are doing these tricks, leaving your toe stops in, you have to know where they are, because the moment you spin and hit a toe stop when you don't expect to, it is also game over pretty quickly. So be very careful. My toe stops are fairly worn down right now, so it's not really an issue. I have to really reach for them. If you have bigger, newer toe stops, or if they are lowered to the just off the ground, you'll have a harder time balancing. I can go up on my toe wheels and be just fine without hitting my toe stop most of the time. I should knock on wood, because just imagine me saying that and then 2 seconds later I just face plant because I hit a toe stop. It happens. We'll see. Okay, so 2 things I recommend you knowing how to do before you try a toe spin is a heel toe spin. So if you haven't learned a heel toe spin, I think a few tutorials, but definitely one on a heel toe spin. Heel toe spin is what I typically do. That is what I'm most comfortable with. I can do it quite fast, and I raise my hands while doing it a lot. So you've probably seen me do that. So I think you should know how to spin in general. Know how to spin, know which direction you're comfortable spinning and how you do it, how you feel comfortable doing it. The other thing I think you should know how to do is balancing on your toes. So I do recommend figuring out like a bounce that's good for you to bend and then go up on your toes. When I'm up on my toes, because I'm balancing between my wheel without hitting my toe stop, I am not super far forward. Your axle is the metal on your plate. The metal on your plate near the ball of your foot, that's where you're going to be balanced. So this, kind of like toe stops, feels a little like I'm walking in weird heels, not comfortable heels, weird heels. But you should be comfortable doing this. Now, the actual technique of spinning that I teach, it's the same for a toe spin. So I teach like the shoulder width apart, put your hands in an L, bend, and do like a scissor, a forward and a backward scissor. It's the same idea. When you're doing a heel toe spin, it's the same thing. You just pop to this position, a heel and a toe. When you're doing a toe spin, it's the same thing. You're just popping to your toes. So let's practice this for a moment without rotating. So find something, if you need to hold on to like a wall, a table, a chair, anything, just find something to balance you a little bit. Bend, go up on your toes. Like anything that I teach, I rarely keep my feet in line like this. I talk about this mainly for skating outside, but in general, I rarely have my feet like this. Unless you're doing like a cross. I'm trying to think of like moments. Yeah, no. I just rarely have my feet like this. Normally they're staggered, so you can start doing that as well. I do kind of teach to get here and then spin. So I spin to my left, I bend, move my right skate forward because it's gonna go in that motion forward anyway. So you can do this way, but I think it's better. So if you spin to your left, I think it's better to push the right skate forward, the left skate back, not super far, and then spin it. Kind of the same thing when you're practicing this stationary-ish movement. It's like you bend, you go up on the toes, but I suggest, if you're gonna spin to your left, I suggest pushing your right skate forward, your left skate back a little bit. Please, 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 not so much that you're gonna end up in a split. If you spin to your right, you're gonna do the opposite. So you're gonna push your left skate forward, your right skate back, just a little bit. So practice your own rhythm in bending and then popping to that toe, coming back down. Bending, popping to the toes, go back down. This is the same thing that I teach on the heel toe. Just on the heel toe, I literally go like that. This one is like that. And you can stabilize yourself. If you don't want to hold on to something, you can put your hands out in airplane position. Here, come up. Or you can put it on like your waist or your abs so that you know you're tightening. Bend, tighten. This is great practice. It's a great workout, everything. This is full body. You are working abs, you're working your legs, obviously, and your arms should be tight no matter where they are. Biceps, triceps should be tight. When you actually go to rotate, you want to make sure that you are constantly rotating the direction that you are spinning. So like I've said, I spin to my left, so I go here and I constantly want to move my left shoulder back. You can also think of moving your right shoulder forward. However, I think that ends up getting too turned and down instead of pulling this one back actually rotates you. So let's just try to bend. I'm gonna put my hands in an L. I'm gonna bend and then I'm going to get to my toes and spin a half rotation just by pulling that left side back. I'm crossing my arms. I typically won't spin like this because it actually goes too fast and I get a little scared. I typically bring my hands in and then up. On a toe spin, I find myself putting my hands here. So I stabilize myself by putting my hands on my head, just like to the side of my head. I think that just helps me tighten my core and it doesn't give me like a moment to lose my balance. I can do that all on my own. I don't need my hands to help me with that. So for this exercise though, I would say bring your hands in, crossed over your chest. So bend, yeah. It's just like any spin. I always teach to start it with a half rotation, get a nice rhythm in your knees, and then when you're comfortable, you can bend, aim for a full rotation. Just make sure it's a soft bend and a soft bend. That one I like pushed my butt out. If you do lose your balance a little bit forward, try not to loosen your back. Your back should always be tight and flexed so that if you're losing your balance, you're still tight, so it's just a pitch forward and then you can recover a lot quicker. When you are spinning on your toes, I find that I stay quite bent. So typically on like a heel toe spin, I teach to come up. On toe spins, I come up a little bit, but I don't really come up in the knees. It's all pretty bent. If I had my toe stops out, I think it would be even more of a bend because I would be way more forward than I am. I've been practicing a little bit without my toe stops just because I forget how fun it is. Like, it's not that scary, it's more fun. There's a lot of stuff that I do that I can't take my toe stops out for. Like, I need my toe stops in, especially when I'm teaching a lot of my competitors because they all wear toe stops. So I have to like make it a point to practice without my toe stops, to take my toe stops out and practice a few of the tricks that I enjoy doing without toe stops. Anyway, okay, so just a few things that I want to tell you about that I've realized. When I am spinning a full rotation, I feel my right inner thigh squeezing to the inside, and I feel my knee pushing a little bit to the inside. I don't really feel anything on my left leg. I'm pulling the left shoulder back, so I think it just automatically kind of goes. But the right, I do feel it like trying to steer a little bit. So I'm kind of thinking, which actually makes sense because a lot of my choreography and stuff, I talk about balancing your body out. So I'm thinking about my left shoulder and my right leg. So opposite ends, I'm thinking of a diagonal. This one's moving and this one is moving. Of course, everything needs to move together. So like my hips have to rotate when my shoulder's rotating, or else I'll end up like that, and that's no fun. So you really want to make sure when you're spinning that everything is moving together. So you can't just focus on the foot or the head. It has to, I work my way up. So the feet, you have to know what's happening here. You're going like this, your toes have to rotate, but you're balancing on that axis. So you really have to stay here. And then your hip has to rotate as well as your shoulder. Everything has to go together. If one thing gets disjointed, it's gonna fall apart. You're gonna lose your balance and be like a weebles wobble, but you might actually fall down. Okay, so stopping your momentum. Like, you should probably know how to stop before you even start to go. This is very similar to a heel toe spin. So when I stop a heel toe spin, I literally just bend and put all my wheels down. You could slam a toe stop down if you needed to, but in that moment, I don't think you really have time for it if you need to stop quickly. If you need to slow down, you can drag that toe stop and slow down. Toe spins, you can't drag the toe stop to slow down. It's just now or nothing, like you gotta stop quickly. So unless you run out of momentum, then it just comes to a gradual stop, so that could be cool. But most of us will need to bend into our stop. Now think about your momentum. You're going this way, so you kind of have to fight it. You have to check your body square in order to stop your momentum. So I suggest practicing that with your single rotations first. So go from here, bend, one rotation, stop. And the stop can be, it doesn't need to be both at the same time. I catch myself going left, right. So maybe think about that one at a time, boom, boom. That slows it down a little bit more. If you want to slow your momentum, you can keep your hands wide or out even. If you want to go faster, you'll need to bring them in or up. I kind of do a little bit of both by putting my hands here, so I can go fast, but I'm slowing myself down. It's nothing tight that's gonna make me go really fast. You can control a lot of it with your core. Because your shoulder and everything is rotating, your core is rotating as well. If you slow it down and tighten up and start to pull your core to the opposite side, then you'll slow down as well. I think that's pretty much all I wanted to cover today. Please let me know how that goes for you. Please let me know what you think. I know a lot of you are still really working on the heel toe, getting that faster, but this is a fun one to try. This might actually be easier for you than the heel toe. It totally depends. It's different for everyone. I have a lot of skaters that think the toe spins are easy and the heel toe is difficult, which I'm like, what? I was super uncomfortable with toe spins for a very long time. I think because my toe stops were hitting. Please, if you're scared of your toe stops hitting, please just take the toe stops out. You could have small toe stops or toe plugs, like dance plugs, Those work just as well, and you'll be a little safer than nothing. If you don't have toe stops in and you don't have plugs in, be careful not to scratch your floors, especially if you have a metal plate. I've made that mistake before where I was doing stuff and was too lazy to put a dance plug in and just scratched my floor. Anyway, please have fun with that. Let me know how it goes. I will see you later. Bye. Well, that was fun. It'd be real tight if you liked this video, and hit that subscribe button while you're at it. Okay, bye.